All right, the math professor is on the air once more. All right, so continuing with our learning about Excel, please go ahead and open an Excel spreadsheet. I'm going to increase the size on mine, but you don't need to if you can see adequately. All right, so as usual, we're going to put our name, our class. This should be homework number 8. Okay, I got a little confused last Wednesday and said it was homework number 6, but we had actually done homework number 6 before. And today's date, 9/14/2020. All right, so today we're going to work with making a Pareto chart. A Pareto chart is one where we order something. It could be, in this case, I'm going to say it's production failure. Okay, and then I'm going to say number of errors, percentage, and cumulative percentage. All right, so you'll notice that quite a few of my labels are lapping over into the next cell, except they can't lap because they're covered up. So what do I do? Merge is tempting, but actually we want the button right above that says wrap text. Okay. So I'm going to come across here and highlight all of them and go wrap text. Now, I don't like the way that percentage and cumulative percentage came out. So I'm going to widen those just a little bit. Oh, that was the wrong widening. All right. And widen that a little bit. All right, so now that I've done that, I've got something that looks pretty good across the board, except my row is super tall. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to double click on the bottom of number 6, and that shortens it up a bit, but not as much as I want. So I'll just go ahead and put it on the bottom of number 6, left click, and move it up some more. All right, I think I can live with that. All right. But we always need to think in terms, hello, everything okay there? Okay. And when I say there, I'm talking specifically to you guys that are on the Zoom call. All right, well, I guess we'll have to assume everything's okay with them. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the merge and center on here. And all of these, I'm going to go ahead and move so that they're in the middle. All right, so what kinds of production failure might we have? Well, we might have operator error. We might have machine failure. We might have setup error. We might have material failure. We might have tool breakage. What else might we have? Oh, damn it, I went through this exercise before class and I had more than this. We might have the wrong part. Okay, so anyway, I have a number of things that could go wrong with in production that would cause a failure. All right, so how do I determine the number of errors? Oh, well, bloody hell, since we're just making this whole thing up, I'm just going to put equals rand between left parenthesis, and the bottom of the scale I want to be 1, and the top of the scale, well, I can make it anything, but I'm going to make it 25, and then do right parenthesis. All right, all I'm going to do then is I'm going to pull that same formula down. All right, so now I have a number of errors for each of those. However, I'm going to go ahead and highlight those and copy, and then I'm going to paste the values. Okay, and you notice that when I did that, the numbers changed. Right, they always are in this circumstance, but it doesn't matter. Now, Pareto was an Italian mathematician, and he came up with a very smart idea, which we now often call the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule is that 80% of things that happen are due to 20% of the causes for things happening. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I am going to sort this in order of what is the highest number of failures to the lowest number of failures. All right, so I highlight my headers and my failures and the numbers. And I go to my data to sort, right? I click on my data has headers, and then I sort by number of errors, and it says smallest to largest. Okay, but I don't want smallest to largest, I want largest to smallest. Okay, so I have everything sorted now by the amount of failures in the particular situations. Right, so we see, that was exciting. So we see material failure is the highest, followed by machine failure, setup error, wrong part, operator error, and tool breakage. In a real life situation, it might not be that, it might be something else. All right, so now what I am going to do is I'm going to say, to get my percentage, I'm going to say equals 24, right, the number of material failures, divided by the sum of all of these numbers, right? Everybody understands that will give me percentage, right? All right, but I don't want to have to retype that over and over again because I'm lazy. So what I do is I come up here, I re-click on my formula, and then I put $C, $7, $C, $12. The $sign tells Excel, don't change this part of the formula, right? So I could do it so that I'm only doing $7 and $12 if I want the columns to be able to change as I do my spreadsheet, or I could have put $C, $C if I want to stay the same column, but I want the numbers to change. But in this case, I don't want either of those to change. I want to stick with this same 6 numbers all the way down during my calculation.
Do you put that after the formula? Or do you put it over? I can't really see.
Oh, okay. What I did was I went back. I had already written in sum and just highlighted these numbers so that it was C7 through C12, right? Then I went back, because I could have just written it in as $C, $7, colon, $C, $12, but it was easier to highlight these, hit return, and then go back and insert my $signs.
Okay.
Okay, you seem dubious about that, but I'll take that okay. Look, there's always many ways to do these. If I were a faster typist, I just would have typed in the whole thing the first time. But I'm not a fast typist. In fact, I only know how to touch type because one of my bosses more or less gave me an ultimatum that I would learn to touch type or else. He didn't specify what or else was, but he was kind of a tough guy, and I thought, you know what, I don't want to find out what or else is.
And by using a dollar sign, that solidifies the equation.
Right, that means that now, when I come here and I pull this down, it's just going to use the same summation. It's going to change this number that it divides by, but it's going to keep that summation as all of these numbers added together. All right, so then I go back to my Home tab and I say, you know what, I want all of these, instead of a fractional number like this, or not a fractional, a decimal number, I want them to appear as percentages. So I'm going to come over here and highlight both percentage and cumulative percentage and just hit this percentage button. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what, I actually want numbers after the initial decimals, or the whole numbers. So I go ahead and hit so that I have 2 decimal places as well. Right, I could have left it as no decimal places. Everything would work out exactly the same for what I'm going to do. But I've got a bit of the old obsessive compulsive disorder that wants me to put decimal places behind the whole numbers. All right. Now, how do we calculate the cumulative percentage? It's simply going to be, for our first material failure, it's just going to be equal to the percentage we've already got. But then for our subsequent numbers, it's going to be equal to the cumulative percentage before plus the percentage of each new type of failure. Okay, and as you can see, it adds up to 100%, as it should. If it didn't add up to 100%, I'd be astonished and dismayed both. All right, so now we have that. All right. Now, all of this is leading up to building a Pareto chart.
Mr. White?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the formula for E7?
For E7,
Yes.
it's only equal to the percentage, right? Since it's the first one, it's the whole cumulative percentage by itself.
Oh, thank you.
But all the other ones are going to be the percentage of the particular type of error plus the previous. cumulative percentage? Good question. All right. Now we have our number of errors, our percentage, our cumulative percentage. Now we want to, well, let me come up here a bit. Now we want to insert a chart, and we're going to go ahead and put in a insert a bar chart, and you'll notice it just went wild, and it said, you know what, it looks like you're working with this data. I'm just going to go ahead and put all of that in. And did that happen to any or all of you when you clicked on insert a bar chart?
You're ahead of us.
All right, well, let's just go ahead and wipe that out and start over again. All right, insert a bar chart. All right, so I've got a blank chart here. I'm going to right-click on my chart area and select my data. All right, so I'm going to add, the series name is going to be equal, and click on number of errors. Now, for some reason, whenever you do this, it gives you the series value as 1. I don't know why that is. That doesn't seem useful to me. So I clean that out and I say equal, and then I'm going to just go down here and highlight the number of errors and click OK. Now my horizontal axis labels, I want to edit those, and I want those to be equal to the type of production failures for all of these. All right, so so I go ahead and I highlight those and click OK. All right, so
Mr. White,
yes, ma'am.
how did you get a blank chart?
Okay, make sure that you're clicked off all of your data, right? You just clicked onto a random cell, and then go to insert bar chart.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
So happy to help, of course. Now, so I've got my chart now, and it's and it's ordered, right, as we want a Pareto chart to be, from the highest to the lowest. Now, one thing I'm going to do is, whenever Excel creates a chart, one thing it does that I don't like, it always gives you a lot of extra space above your highest value. And I do not like that. I don't want that. Get it away from me. So I'm going to come over here to my vertical axis and right click and go to Format Axis, right? And you'll notice it has bounds. The minimum is 0 and the maximum is 30. Now sometimes it'll try and give you a minimum that is above 0. But going from 0 to whatever is always the way to see the data the best. However, I don't want to go to 30. I know the maximum number is 25, so I'm going to go to 25. Well, actually, the maximum number of errors is 24.
How'd you get to format axis?
Okay, let me, I come here inside my axis, right, and I right click, and of course now it doesn't want to work. No, not format chart area. There we go. Right click and I get format access, axis
Axes.
on the bottom. Right, and if I click on that, it gives me then my, right, and you can do all kinds of things. You can change it to a logarithmic scale, which we'll get to a kind of chart where we want to do that. We can change the bounds. We can change where the major and minor axes are. Right, so, but I'm happy with the way it is, being from 0 to 25. I don't want to go on a logarithmic scale. That would confuse everything in this case. All right, so then I click close on my format my axis. All right, something I had not anticipated when I was practicing this morning was how giant sizes would be. All right, so you'll notice I'm on Chart Tools here, right? And I want to be on Design, and I want to go to line, column, spark line, stone. All right. I'm gonna, uh-oh. Okay, even though I practiced this just a little while ago, I've already forgotten. So,
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to get a line chart for my cumulative percentage.
A line chart.
All right, so I'm on Design.
So you want a second graph?
Yes.
Okay.
Now one, here's what I want. No, it's not. Ah, there we go. Change chart type. And I want to go to combo, and I want a clustered column and line. Okay, but it's fighting me here, so I'm gonna go here, select data, add, equal the cumulative percentage, equal, and I just highlight my cumulative percentage. All right, now change chart type and come down to combo. All right, and you'll notice all right, so I get a clustered column for number of errors, cumulative percentage for line. All right, but you'll notice line looks pretty damn weak and pathetic.
Okay, how did you get there?
All right, I come here, all right, go away, go away. This damn little Dumaflachi for, all right, so there's chart tools, right? You should be on that. Click on design. Then go to change chart type.
I don't see the chart tool or the design.
Okay, well, click on the chart first of all.
Okay. Okay, I see the design now.
All right, click on design. Go to change chart type,
Okay.
right?
Uh-huh.
And you want to go down all the way on the left to combo.
Okay.
All right, now on line, what I forgot to do that time was move over here and click on secondary axis.
It won't let me it won't let me select anything.
I think it's clustered column line, is that what you chose?
Right, well, they don't give you that many choices. You get clustered column line, clustered column line on secondary axis, which perhaps I should have chosen in the first place, stacked area, and custom combination.
Okay, I can click on clustered column line, but it doesn't let me do anything else after that. Even the OK is grayed out, so I can't click OK on it.
The numbers keep changing.
It says you have to select two series of data.
Okay, yeah, the number of errors where you did ran between, you have to go and copy that and then paste values and do your sort then. If you don't do that, the numbers are gonna keep changing every time you,
Which chart do you guys use? Go to the chart, or the thing, and then go to combo. Just
So
combo.
there might be something wrong with my sort. Let's see.
okay, well, click on any one of those numbers.
Okay. So like this one.
Okay, highlight all your numbers, copy, All right, now go to the top, and right click, all right, and paste values.
This one.
Yeah. Okay, and now do a sort again of your data. Okay, but look, highlight all of this right here. All right, yeah, now go to sort. Okay, and my data has headers, good. But sort by, you want to sort by number of errors, and you want to do largest to smallest. There you go.
Okay.
All right. Oh,
Is it allowed me to?
thank God we were able to sort that out.
Okay. It's not letting me either.
Okay, go to any one of your numbers there. Okay, I get the feeling you didn't do anything but copy mine. But in this case,
Yeah, see some, put the number, percentage on it, then do I just, copy, right, or take copy?
okay, well, look, you need to sort, right? Go ahead and highlight, not,
No, this isn't,
right,
okay,
all right.
then just format.
Wait, hang on, go to sort. Data, right. Okay, sort. My data has headers. By number of errors, okay, hit okay.
And then just
All right,
do that.
see, you didn't, here, go on one of these numbers. See, you gotta highlight these numbers. All right, copy. Okay, now paste. Go back here, paste by values, right. All right, now you gotta do your sort again to get them in order.
Oh, okay.
I'm not calling that order. Oh, wait, no, it is order, sorry. I can't see very well with my mask and fogging up my glasses, oh, oy vey. All right. I think we're finally all on the same page as far as how we create the first part of our chart. All right. Okay. Now, now we've got it. I'm using the change chart type. Change chart type. Combo. Clustered column and line. Right? I could go with this, but that that looks ridiculous in this case. All right, and I want a secondary axis for my cumulative percentage.
I'm
Yes.
not getting the bottom box. I'm on combo. I'm still having the same error.
All right. Go up to, oh, okay. Get out of that. All right, click on your chart. Go to design. Go to change chart type. Go to combo. All right, that is weird. Oh, that's because here, go to your chart, right click, select data. All right, you want to add, all right, equal cumulative percentage. Okay, actually, the series name, you need to equal cumulative percentage, the actual name.
So, change this to cumulative. Is that what you mean?
You could, but you could just click on that cell.
Okay.
All right, then down here equals, and now highlight your cumulative percentage numbers. And hit OK. All right, and hit OK again. Now go to change chart type, combo, see, and now it'll let you.
Okay.
Ah, what a relief. All right, is everybody there? Is anyone there? Right? Remember, you've got to click on your secondary axis or you get a pathetic little line down here.
Now, how do we change the series name?
Series name, you just go equal and then click on the cell that has the series name.
Okay.
If you don't have a cell that says that, you would put equals cumulative percentage. All right, so I've got that. I'm going to change to that. There we go. Once again, I want my 100% to be at the top. So on the secondary axis, I'm going to right click, format the axis, and on maximum, I'm going to go 1.0. And there we go. All right, so has everyone been able to get to that point?
Yes.
All right. Now, let's assume that I want to be able to print this out and put it on the wall. For whatever reason. All right, so I go to my file, I hit print, and you'll notice the way I have it now, I'm going to get half my chart on here, and then half the chart is going to be on another page. Right? Well, I don't want anything that looks like that. That's silly as can be. So what I am going to do is I can either change my orientation from portrait to landscape. Landscape brings it all into the same onto the same page, which is something that I want. So I'm going to leave that this time, and what I'm going to do is hit my go back arrow and take a look at this and say, you know what? What I really want is for this to fill up pretty much all the space. So I move it so that it's close to that dotted line that is represents the printing area on the page. Okay, so there I am. I've got my little chart. But sometimes when well, I tell you what, we'll just start. We'll start all over. All right, so let's do what we call a spider chart or a radar chart, right? I might have these, and I'm just going to go ahead and take my production failures and my number of errors, and I'm going to go ahead and copy that. I'm going to bring it down here. And assume that we have been working on the reason for the number of these errors, right? So I'm going to make a errors after revisions, and I'm going to go ahead and do wrap text, and once again I don't want it to be that tall. All right, so let's assume that we've gone in, we've looked at why did we have these production failures, and we've been able to figure out some of the reasons for each of these, so that and with your own chart, it's not going to be in the same order as mine, right? Because when you did a sort, it was just random numbers, right? But let's just make each number smaller. So we have, I'm going to say material failure is going to be 18, machine failure is going to be 15, setup error 7, wrong part 4, operator error 3, and tool breakage 1. All right. Now, sometimes we use a spider chart to help us show whether we're improving or losing ground. Okay, so I come in here. Often this is called a radar chart. Right, see, they call it a surface or a radar chart. So I'm going to say I want to insert a radar chart, and you can see it just automatically decided, what my spider or radar chart would look like. here, right, where I've got a, my outside line is the beginning, my beginning number of errors, and my inside line would be after, right, but, let me go over here. All right, let's start with insert radar chart. All right, so I've got a blank chart. I'm in the middle of it, and I right click, and I keep right clicking until I get select data, right? So I'm going to add equal to my number of errors. I click on that cell as my series name. My series values equals right, so it's showing that, and right, but I want to edit. They still call it the horizontal axis, even though there's nothing horizontal about it. So I equal, and then I just highlight all of my production failures, right? Click on OK. All right, so you can see, all right, now I've got my radar chart. To make it a little more interesting, I'm going to go with a couple of numbers bigger on my errors after revision. All right, so if I want to add that, I right click, I go to select data, I add, this is going to be errors after revision, equals, then I'm going to come down here and highlight my numbers, right? So you can see it looks a little more interesting when it's not just purely everything is smaller on your second one than your first. Although in industry, we would want all our numbers to be smaller. All right, so let me look. All right, so this is looking pretty good. I see my edge of my paper down here. Come over here. All right, that's perfect. Right, I'm going to go ahead and line that up. So I'm pretty much using all of my paper, my piece of paper for this. Okay, so guys, formatting is very important. And you know what? I didn't do something at the very beginning, and y'all didn't stop me and correct me. And that is to save my file in the computer skills file folder as homework number 8, more charts. Okay, if it's For y'all, you need to be sure and put your name in the file name. Okay, I can't emphasize that enough. If I just get a file that says homework number 8, I don't know whose it is. I have to actually open the file and check it. And hopefully you've written your name on the sheet, although a couple of times we've had people that have just sent me a chart. The file name doesn't have their name, the actual homework doesn't have their name. Then I have to look at the email. All right, and I save that. Now this is not actually how I would usually do this kind of a chart. I am more used to, all right, so I'm coming down here on the second page, and I'm going to put 6S, capital S, improvement chart. Okay, and for that, we would do things like we would have cleanliness. We would have point of use. We would have sweep. Bloody hell. I wish I'd gotten more sleep last night. Because today I am not thinking as fast as I would like. Sweep, we would have, parts, jigs, and tools. All right. 6S, in lean production, 6S is our acronym for how we keep our shop or our workstation clean and tidy. Okay, so actually I see already I need to insert. All right, so I'm going to call these categories, and I'm going to call this score week 1, right? And then I've got score week 2, score week 3. All right, so let's say our for week 1, our cleanliness was poor. We're going to rate all of these on a 1 to 10. All right, so week 1, our score was poor. We only got a 3. Point of use, we got a 2. Sweep, which doesn't necessarily mean like sweeping the floor, but it means like being able to sweep your eyes across a shop or a workstation and see what's going on, right? Sweeping is a 4. Parts were a 5, jigs were a 4, and tools were a 2. All right, so clicking on a cell well away, I go ahead and I hit Insert, go to Radar Chart, right, and then I'm going to right-click until it lets me select data, add, the series name, I'm going to call it I'm going to go ahead and click on the 6S improvement chart, and the categories or the series values all right, so I hit OK on that, and then my horizontal category, I'm going to go ahead and say equals my 6 points of all right. So I move that down here. Right, but let's say the next week we're improving a bit, right? We got cleanliness all the way up to a 6. Point of use has been improved to a 5. Sweep made it all the way up to a 7. Parts are also a 7. The jigs are at a 6, and tools are at 7. All right, so I'm going to come in here, I'm going to right-click, select data, I'm going to go ahead and add equals my score on week 2, and oops, equals, and I just highlight all my numbers, and then I either click on OK or I hit Enter. All right, so you can see it's a visible way of seeing that we're improving our situation. All right, so our score on week 3, oh my God, cleanliness is all the way up to 9. Point of use, we've improved to a 10. Sweep, we only got up to an 8, but hey, we're doing okay. Parts are still at a 7. Jigs are up to 7, and tools we've moved up to an 8. All right, so once more, I'm going to go ahead and hit select data. I'm going to add equals score on week 3 and equals my series values. So I click on OK. And you know what? I want to go ahead and go back here and edit this, and I'm going to go ahead and say the series name is equal to the score for week 1. And what can I do here to make my format the chart area, fill border, text options, All right, none of that is what I want. I want to add a chart title here.
How did you add those names to your graph? Like cleanliness, point of use.
All right, so right-click and go to Select Data.
Okay.
The horizontal category axis labels, you want to hit Edit there,
Okay.
right? And then I just go equals, I highlight my, the labels and hit OK.
Okay, I got it.
Right? None of this is rocket science as such. And the nice thing is you can fool around with Excel or with Word or PowerPoint and learn how to do all this. Not to mention, you gotta be careful or Zoom will start encroaching, right? If I come here and I wanna do something really weird, or weird to me that I haven't done before, I can type in an inquiry and figure that out, right? So here I've gone ahead and I've layered all 3 weeks' scores in together, right? And what I could have done, oh, not so small. What I could have done is I could have done them as 3 separate charts, right? But you run the danger, you run the risk, I should say, then that because it's going to automatically size them, you run the risk that they'll look like they're the same size, even though your scores are getting better as you're going along. All right, I want to get into another type of chart. I'm just not sure we have enough time today to do it. So instead, let me open up the class to any comments or questions. Right? You'll notice I'm moving these a little bit, which means that I'm going to have to do what? I'm going to have to come up here and make sure that I haven't gone over onto the next page with my previous charts. Right? We want to be very aware of how we format all of these things as we create them. For example, on last Wednesday's, I believe it was during quiz 5, some of you had accidentally let your charts lop over to the next page, and then I'm printing them out and it's 4 pages instead of 1. Right, and that obviously is not a good situation to be in at all. Well, it's obvious to me. All right, you know what? This is driving me so crazy. Let's go ahead and insert, go to the Insert tab, Shapes. You'll notice right in the upper left corner on Recently Used Shapes, I've got a little thing that looks like, kind of like a very tiny American flag. Right? I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in here as 6S improvement scores. All right, so when I do that, I can choose to put that in the center. I can left justify. I can right justify. If I wanted to get it all on one line, I would have to make my box longer, right? And now with this box, I can go ahead and right click inside the box and it will let me, oops, right click inside the box. There we go. Right click inside the text in my box and I can format the object. I can say, you know what, the line, I don't want a line. Fill, no fill, or I could do solid fill, but not black because that's obviously not working out well. Maybe a nice blue.
Okay, so do I need to click on the chart or empty cell to get that box?
Oh, well, you have to go to Insert,
Okay, insert.
Shapes, okay, and you're looking for the little box that has a letter A in it.
Okay, I don't have that shapes on the tool one. Oh, right here.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Now see, you got the little box with the letter, that's the first one,
Okay.
right? And you're just gonna choose where do you want to start and pull it out so that you have the little box.
Okay.
And since I'm in the area, I'm gonna go ahead and put a line, but I'm not gonna do a blue line. That won't even show up. I think I'll do red, comrade. What? You call that a line? All right, there you go. But you'll notice it's impinging Oh, well, maybe you won't notice because you can't see the same lines I do. My 6S improvement scores box is impinging a little on one of my lines, so I'm just going to go ahead and come up here and move it the tiniest bit, right? With any of these shapes, if I put them in, I can go ahead and you'll see this little kind of circular arrow, which means I can do anything. I can turn it upside down, but of course I don't want to do that. Right, I can make it larger or smaller, pulling on one of these, one of the little bubbles around the edge, right? The top and bottom bubble would just make it taller. The ones in the corners, let me go both ways. And the ones on the edge just would make it longer or shorter. All right. Is everybody where I am?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank dog for that. Look, there's all kinds of ways we can change things around, right? For example, this, I can come here and I can say, you know what, a gray line, oh, how boring. And come here and, okay. Okay, where's my color change? That's what I want.
It's in your home tab.
All right, it's not letting me change it that way.
What are you trying to change?
I just want to change the color of the line.
Oh yeah, you use the home tab and use the fill. And make it white. But you have to click on it first because you're under the chart or the cells. Click on the chart.
Okay, but see, I clicked on this particular line. I'm just worried about this gray line here.
The gray line? Are you changing the color of the line? The gray line?
That's what I want to do.
Okay.
See, there you go. I changed all the lines at once. How? I'll never know. Look, sometimes you want to fool around with the colors on things. You want them to show certain things. People react to color. So sometimes if you want them to be alarmed, you put red. You want them to be calm, you put blue, which I'm convinced is the reason that Microsoft, every time you do some kind of color, it comes out blue when you first start. Okay, and there you go. Bob's your uncle. Are there any questions? If not,
Why do you not have a couple different?
yes, Winter, how may I help you?
Can you give us an example of when we might need to use a radar chart?
Well, this is actually the 6S improvement chart. That's actually a very standard way of illustrating it, is using the radar chart. Anytime we want to show improvement in something over time, in this case, you'll notice we have the very small inside area of where we started. Then we have a larger area for the second week and an even larger area for the third week. That's the kind of place that we would use something like that, right? When we're looking at the machine failure or the production errors chart here, right? That is one, the kind of Pareto chart with cumulative percentage is the kind of chart we would use there. You know, all charts have some value except the pie chart. Pie charts are a very poor way of illustrating data, and we should avoid using those. But aside from that, all these different kinds of charts that they give us have a use at one time or another, right? So for example, in Wednesday's class, we'll be showing how we use some charts for figuring out things in statistics. So Winter, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, thank dog. All right. If there are no further questions, then I'm going to call it a class. Go ahead and send me the file.
I have a question. Is this homework number 7?
This is actually number 8.
Number 8?
And I will see you, or possibly only hear you, next Wednesday. Thank you very much.
How did you calculate your cumulative percentage?
Well, you start with the first one is just going to be equal to, and then the second one is just going to be equal to this plus this, right? And at that point, I can just pull that formula down because it's going to, then for this one, it's going to be equal to this and this,
Okay.
this one, this and this, and so on. Okay, and thank you very much. We'll see you later. Radar lines. We've got to get away from the things that drive you insane.